Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube. It is your girl Honey. Welcome back people, welcome back. And those of you who are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Honey and I am a British astrologer. So you've obviously clicked here because you want to know the tea, all right? We have a lot of energy coming up and we're going to talk all about it and what to expect, what to do. And it's going to be for all of the rising signs or your sun signs, or even those of you who follow it for your moon sign. So this will be a very long video. However, I do recommend you kind of skipping through. I will have the timestamps in the comment section below. I'm skipping through to the part that you want to listen to, but I recommend listening to the first part of the video as well, because that's where we are going to be talking about how this energy is likely to affect us as a collective as well. If you are new here and you like my content, please like, share and subscribe to keep the channel running. And also make sure you guys click the pinned comment in the comment section to look at all of the relative links that I have there, which will take you directly to my website, any services that I have to offer. I've also got an astrology course on there. You guys click those links if you want to know more about what's going on. All right people, thank you so much for tuning in. So let's just get started with the video. So today we are talking about the new moons. Okay, I would say new moon, but it's new moons because we are about to enter the spring equinox, which is the beginning of Aries season, which represents new beginnings. It represents a new start. I mean, new moons are always something new, but this is a very distinctive new moon. And it's so crazy because we have another new moon on the 20th of April, which will be in Aries, but at the 29th degree. So we have two new moons during Aries season, at the beginning and at the end. And it's so interesting because there's so much energy surrounding the word new. So we'll talk a little bit about that and how it's going to relate to all of us as a collective. So with the new moon being on the 21st of March, this will be at 0 degrees of Aries. The degrees play a huge role in the way in which planets are likely to express themselves. And when you think about 0 degrees, this is like a baby degree. You know, it's a brand new energy. So when it sits in Aries, Aries is considered as being the baby as well. This is a brand new burst of energy. With us having the new moon at 0 degrees, there's going to be a lot of potency to this brand new. As a collective, obviously Aries season brings in a new burst of energy, so we're all going to feel this need to assert ourselves or apply ourselves or to start something, because that's what Aries represents. It's the beginning of something, so we're all going to have that feeling of let me start something in this area. The thing is, you also want to bear in mind that Aries is battle, war, defense, guns, violence as well. And a lot of the time during Aries season, it can be the start of something that can be triggering later on. Now, Aries ruler is Mars, and Mars is your motivation, drive, temperament, reaction, response. Aries links us to being assertive, direct. It links us to conflict, confrontation, battle, even war. And we always talk about, oh, you know, world war this and this happened with that. I've actually seen a few like TikToks. You know when you're like scrolling and you see like an astrology TikTok and someone mentioned something about there's going to be a war coming and there's going to be this happening, that happening. No, let's talk about that. There's been a lot of fear mongering online that I've seen involving there being a World War III. We are already in the World War. We've been in it for a while now. There's still slavery happening. There's still human trafficking. There's genocide. There's countries bombing other countries. We have been living in it. It's not like it's just about to start. Now with this new moon in Aries usually incites a reaction, a response, a need to defend. So based on what's already happening, we might see that maybe a country chooses to defend itself, or a country backs somebody else, or someone else might get involved, or there might be a new arrangement going on. Do you get what I mean? And as we know, April as well is the beginning of the financial year. So tax returns get paid out, but that's when money tends to be assessed globally. So there's likely to be something surrounding finances and also debts in different countries. Aries energy brings on a lot of discord. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a lot of people fighting, defending, or starting an issue based off their own personal perspective of a situation that could be happening as a collective. And when you think about it, you know, we've also got Mars in Gemini at the same time. And Gemini is energy that represents my ideas. And you have all of this energy in Aries that is pushing the expression of Mars. People are going to be saying a lot of things. That awareness is likely to come through from Mars in Gemini. When you think about Gemini, Gemini's gossip, you know, it's talking about this, it's media outlets, you know, and Mars is at the late degree squaring Neptune. So a lot of the information that we are getting through social media, okay, through the news, which I don't even watch anymore, is all fabricated. It's fabricated, it's some BS. It's there to create confusion for the masses, which essentially separates all of us because we're all going to believe something very different from the next person. But that's what we are essentially seeing. And whenever there is a lot of energy in Aries, I like it for myself, obviously being an Aries woman, and it's a time where I can just assert myself to get things done. You know, I can do a lot during that whole season because it's energy that pushes you to launch things, to start things, to get things done. But as a collective, people get trigger happy, people get impulsive, people get this overwhelming sense of control to action things. And it's from I don't want to say it's from an egotistical perspective, but it's from your own perspective. So what you feel is the right thing for you to do, you're going to do it. We've also got this this AI, artificial intelligence, that it's gone everywhere. It's been around for a long time, but it's really becoming more of a thing now. Remember years ago, I think it was maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, where there was like this app that came out. Everyone uploaded their picture to the app and it made them older. So you can see yourself in like 30, 40 years or whatever. And you're like, oh my God, I look really old. Everyone's saying, oh, this is the new artificial intelligence. They're taking your information, your pictures, your face to use it somewhere else. And da-da-da. Everyone was talking about that. There is a program on TV where they use AI. They put like Kim Kardashian's face, like Idris Elba's face in the program, but it's not them. They put their face on someone else's body, but their voice sounds similar, and they're acting, but they're not really acting, if that makes sense. Although visually we can see, yeah, that looks like Kim K, or that looks like Idris, but it's not really them, it's the AI. So moving forward with this Pluto in Aquarius, what we are going to see is AI being implemented into every aspect of life. We won't even have to be physically somewhere. We can literally send an AI. Our voices can be copied. Our work can be copied. Anything that we do at the moment is all going to be moving into this artificial, this AI. So we are essentially seeing the transformation of technology happen over this whole period, but we are seeing a lot of the start of it whilst Pluto has just entered into Aquarius. And let's not forget, when it comes to society introducing something, or let's say the government introducing something to society, they have to kind of apply it to younger people, because younger people are going to be more accepting, because these are the things that are going to be part of their life as they grow. So the best place to hide this is going to be through social media. Hence why there have been lots of apps that have done the artificial intelligence in their apps, you know, whether it be the voice recordings, whether it be the changing of your face. There are multiple different ways, and also copy and pasting data. It's basically all data collecting. So the more that the government or the people in power know about us as a society, the more they can control what we do. And let's not forget, Pluto is about control. I hope I don't sound too like crazy, but it's almost like they are eradicating the authentic human. Like at some point we won't even have to go into work, because there will be artificial intelligence doing our work for us, unless you have like a job that relates to tradesmanship where you have to manually do the work, or if it ever came down to like celebrities going to like the Oscars or the Grammys, they haven't got to be there because they can just send their artificial intelligence to go, like if they don't want to go. Do you get what I mean? Like we're going into a new phase in our lives where humans are being like completely eradicated. Pluto moving into Aquarius. okay, which is this month, right? This is this month, people. Aquarius is technology, social media, the future, advancement. It's amazing energy, but this will be in Pluto for the next 20 years. This is a long transit, and it's going to affect, like I said, everybody as a collective. But that Pluto going into Aquarius, I feel like it's going to advanced technology even more, which I personally don't feel like we need to have it advanced, but they're going to, because it's all about making money, right? It's all about money, but it's also about how they can control technology even more, because we're in a place, right, where anyone can upload a YouTube video, anyone can create content online, but that Pluto is going to influence the way in which we put content and information out there. Because remember, this is the new moon, this is Aries new moon at 0 degrees. And Pluto is sextile. Pluto is encouraging this power, this control, this new launch of something. Now, although the new moon will be on the 21st of March, it does not mean that something will happen on that exact day. New moon things can manifest 3 months after as well. Things of the new moon could also manifest during the whole week or two prior. Remember, we have 2 new moons in the season of Aries. And the thing is, although Pluto goes into Aquarius in March, it does go retrograde in June, and it goes retrograde up until it goes direct or goes back into Aquarius January of next year, where it officially starts its 20-year transit. That 29 degrees of Capricorn, we're going back to that again. 29th degree is a potent degree. We've gone from 0 to 29 degrees in reference to the Pluto. We'll talk about the Aries new moon in a minute. But in reference to the Pluto retrograde and being in Capricorn, we're having to revisit something that has already happened throughout this whole transit of Pluto being in Capricorn since 2008. Something's likely to come back to the surface again. So think about it like this, yeah. We had the big conjunction of Jupiter, Pluto and Saturn. I think it was in 2020 or 2019. I think it was January 2020, and that was when we had COVID. To me, that was the end of the world. It was literally the end of the world with COVID. We are never going to go back to our lives prior to that, and due to that big conjunction, we're still trying to recover from that. And it's mad because America is, I think it's one of, or the only country that you can't go to unless you're vaccinated. Why is America, why? So look, people, essentially what this new moon is going to bring is a new beginning for us as a collective, but also there is a lot of power that we need to remember that we still have. Yes, we are being controlled as we are. There is a loophole in everything that is out there. There is a loophole. The power is you finding the loophole that's going to work for you. Remember, we currently have Mars in Gemini, people, okay? So with this stellium in Aries, there's a lot of energy in Aries encouraging the expression of Mars. But Mars and Gemini is pushing us towards our ideas. What have we been thinking about doing? What have we been talking about doing? It is time to do the damn thing. So that Pluto sextile, the Aries energy, the Mars in Gemini, you need to utilize the control that you have and the power to assert yourself to do something. And we'll talk a little bit about that through all of the rising signs. Now, by April 20th, we will have a new moon in Aries again. The difference with this new moon is that we're coming off the bat of this new beginning new moon that was in March 21st, and that's when Pluto was sextile. So there's more of an encouragement towards embracing transformation, control, change. This new moon on the 20th of April is a little bit different because now Pluto's squaring the new moon. Although the new moon represents a new beginning, there is a threat from Pluto. Pluto is, again, death, rebirth, crisis, trauma, transformation, changes. And like I said, when it comes to new moons, you'll see a theme that happens a week or two before, but you also see things manifest and come out exactly 3 months later. So you want to check what happens during Cancer season on this particular date for you as well. I feel like something is likely to be a huge change when it comes to social media, and also new rules, regulations coming out. We've also had, what's his name, Elon Musk, who has taken over Twitter, and he's got all of these rules and expectations, and but also in terms of us and our personal sense of self as well, with this 0-degree Pluto in Aquarius and 29-degree of Aries. I just kind of am anxious a little bit about a lot of us wanting to start something, but there is an outside threat. So there can be something that is preventing us from being able to have the power that we initially started the new moon off in March, and now towards the end of April there is a threat. How we've got to look at this is Pluto is about psychologically evolving, and I always like to look at it as taking your power back. So if you're feeling powerless, what can you do? What themes are there going to be for you to take your power back? So instead of getting angry with people, fighting with your family, falling out with friends, and being very headstrong about how you think or feel, you kind of want to use that time to be more reflective on your behavior, on your reactions. Was there some ego behind your response, or have you genuinely been feeling as though you're under threat and you want to come out of that? Don't be so impulsive. Think before you respond. See, this is Aries energy, so this is about the sense of self, all right? So sense of self is being more self-aware, buying self-help books, reading, spending more time reading, going to a therapist, becoming the therapist, doing things that's going to be really helpful for yourself. Aries suns, Aries rising, those of you who follow for the moon as well. The new moon will be in your first house. The first house is the house of your sense of self. This is the house of self-awareness, but also your direction as well in terms of what you want to personally achieve. So this new moon will place some sorts of themes surrounding what you plan to do in your future, what you plan to do to manifest. Those of you who have not seen my previous new moon video or my full moon video on Virgo, I mentioned that you guys need to invest in a planner, but not just any planner. Those of you who watched my full Virgo moon video, the previous one I just made before this one, you guys would have seen me speak a little bit about this amazing planner that I invested in, and I bought this several months ago, and it was life-changing. A lot of you guys bought it, which was great, which I really do appreciate you guys. But if you haven't heard about it, if you missed the video, that's fine. We'll talk about it quickly here. This is a new moon, and this is an Aries new moon, and it's about working on the self, okay? This planner is the best planner, hands down, that I have ever invested in. You can stop and start it whenever. It's not dated, so you can date it yourself, but the planner kind of puts you in positions where you can manifest, where you can win at the achievements earlier and quicker, because it kind of sets you up in a way to make things happen. It helped me to really structure my life, and for my life to have a lot more routine in it. And what my encouragement is for you guys is to also invest in the planner as well, which I will link in my comment section below, the pinned comment section. If not, it will be available directly from my website. It's on the home screen of my website, and you guys can literally click the link and it's right there. But if you guys are trying to start something new for your self-purpose and your self-achievement, this is the planner that's going to do exactly that. Taurus suns, Taurus risings. This year your new moon will be in your 12th house. The 12th house is the house of the unconsciousness, your escapism, solitude, isolation, fear, guilt, grief, sorrow. But this house is also how you find your peace. And people always look at this house, oh my god, it's such a horrible house. I get it, it can be very intimidating if you are not aware of this house. But think about a new beginning in terms of working, or let's say a new beginning in terms of asserting yourself, which is the Aries, to learn more about your secret self, a side to yourself that you haven't quite discovered yet. And you might discover that through doing a lot of reading, you know, reading self-help books, spending more time on your own, being in isolation. You might be put into jail, who knows? And it might be a time to just do some reflecting. You might be put in a position where you have to be by yourself. Maybe you are starting a new job where you have to do a lot of lone working. But a lot of the focus is linked to your mental health and your spiritual health. So what things can you do to find mental peace up here? What things can you do to explore more of your spiritualism? Are you going to invest in more crystals? Are you going to listen to more podcasts that's going to really stimulate your mind, your unconscious mind? Are you going to meditate more? This is a great time to dive into meditation. If you don't dream, You might dream this month. You might do things that may lead you to have a dream. Some people might smoke a bit more or drink a bit more and go sleep and they are just stuck in the unconscious realm. You might have a lucid dream. You might experience something that you haven't quite experienced before. And again, this is the Aries energy, a new something. And the thing is, if you haven't ever experienced lucid dreaming, or you haven't actually had a dream for a long time, there are things that you can do to encourage more of a peaceful sleep or encourage you to dream more. Maybe you might try some shrooms, you know, maybe that might make you dive into your unconsciousness and again try to find peace with that. Gemini suns, Gemini risings, you are my people. The 11th house is where you're going to have your new moon, your new moons. So the 11th house is the house of your social circles, organizations, networks, groups, affiliates. And also it's the house of wishes and dreams, so where you essentially see yourself come the future. Aries, assertive energy. How can you assert yourself into the future? What things can you do now that's going to get you in a better position? When it comes to Aries season, for me anyway, I'm always very busy. There's always a lot for me to do, for me to plan. And also this is the house of events and bringing people together. You might be celebrating something. You might be going to someone's birthday. You know, if it could be mine, my son's birthday. There's always something going on when it comes to the 11th house. We are usually busy with friends. But at the same time, this is Aries energy. So how can you assert yourself in a position? Aries likes to action things in this house. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe if you were going to a birthday or going to an event, maybe you'd be the one hosting it. Maybe you'd have to be the one who's got to plan everything. This is also a really good time to reach out to a new type of audience. Again, with me being on social media and YouTube, it could be a thing where maybe I might change the sort of content that I put out there. Maybe I should see if people are going to be more interested in me talking about cars. I don't know, just something random, but it's about looking into finding a new organization or network that's going to essentially work for you. And Geminis, those of you who say, I don't have any friends, I don't have friends. I get it all the flipping time, yeah. Geminis always have friends, but those of you who say, I don't have any friends, okay, sit down and look at your wishes and dreams. What are your wishes and your dreams? What do you want to achieve? If you want to have friends, how can you go out there and make friends? Join some groups on Facebook, you know, start talking to people online. Learn to be a little bit more sociable, which you should be because you are a Gemini rising anyway, so it should be pretty easy for you. But if you are someone who's going to complain about that, find your tribe online. I want to also mention this: be careful what you post. I'm also looking at the 10th house as viral, but I'm not gonna lie, whenever there's an Aries moon that goes to my 11th house, that's when my social media kind of goes whoop, like that. Every time if I'm posting, it goes whoop. Everyone's interacting. I've had a post go viral before, and that's all during like a new moon in my 11th house. If you're trying to go viral, what content can you put out there that people are going to generally want to talk about and interact with you? Cancer suns and Cancer risings, I'm jealous of this new moon. The new moon will be in your 10th house. 10th house is the house of public image, authoritative figures, government. It is your parents. It can also be becoming a parent. And I just can picture you guys applying for that new role that you've always wanted, you know, changing your career, changing the direction of your life, you know, where you've always wanted to go in the long term versus where you might want to go now. Changes towards your career. It can also be having your own business, being self-employed, taking a risk. Remember, Aries is about asserting yourself here. So now it's like, okay, it's time for me to really push myself into my career now, the job that I really wanted to do. So this is a really good time to really push forward with your long-term goals. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What are you doing to get there? Are you trying to get married? Are you trying to have kids? Are you trying to have this amazing career? Either way, it's a long-term goal for you. Do things to get there. This new moon in your 10th house can make it a possibility. Leo suns and Leo risings, you guys are going to have your new moon in the 9th house. The 9th house is the house of higher learning, foreign lands, language, culture, belief system, freedom, travel. Did I say culture? I think I did. Spirituality and religion. This is a wonderful time to pack your bags and go. A great time to travel, experience a different culture, different people, different types of foods. Also getting into a spirituality, exploring your higher conscious self, learning more about what the meaning of life is. You know, Aries is about asserting yourself in that area? How can I assert myself into a belief? You might even want to start learning a new language. This would be a great time to do exactly that, because I feel like when you're bilingual, you know different languages, it gives you opportunities. Like learning Spanish will take you all over the world. Like learning French, like I feel like it just makes your life so much easier. And if you have been learning a language, why not test and go to a country where they speak that language? That would be so good for the assertive Aries in your 9th house. If you're not able to travel right now, that's not a bad thing, but what about learning a language? Like taking the time to learn a language, or taking the time to learn a religion or a spirituality, or learn about faith, learn about the laws of attraction. Oh my gosh, learn about the ways of life. This is a great time to put yourself in a position to learn something. Pick up on certain podcasts, start your own podcast, get into publishing. Oh my gosh, maybe you might want to publish a book. You know, this house is about putting yourself out there for adventure, for something new, and I don't see why not. If you've always felt like moving to a different country, you're gonna feel more like you want to do it now. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was a really impulsive decision to do that, because this is Aries. I'm gonna do it whenever I want to. I'm gonna move now. If you want to move, go out there and do it. Virgo suns and Virgo risings, this is the time where you need to look at your money. So the 8th house is the house of death, rebirth, crisis, trauma, transformation, other people's resources, joint finances, inheritance, and taboo subjects. But this isn't directly your money, but it is someone else's money. So we're seeing that there's something about you kind of managing money that belongs to someone else. This can literally be in terms of your credit cards. Are you in debt? If you are, what can you do to pay back what you owe? Can you set up an agreement by you contacting your creditors and being more assertive in how much you know you can afford to pay? What's a realistic amount you can afford to pay back? Maybe you are planning to buy a house or purchase something, or even invest your money into something. So if we're looking at investment, are you going to be talking to banks, you know, lenders, the bank of mum and dad? You know, are they going to be lending you money? If they are, this is a very good time to have that conversation and start making plans towards how that would be beneficial for you guys in the future. You're going to buy a house. Where's the best place to live? Is it going to be financially affordable? Is it the right time? Because interest loans are through the roof, people. In the UK, interest loans were at 2% last year, and now they are at 5.7%. Absolutely ridiculous prices. Is it the right time to buy a house? Can you afford property? It's about you being more assertive with what options you have financially, and that's from the help of outsiders. Even in terms of your partner, maybe it's a good time to learn more about your partner's money. How much money do they make? Can they help you buy a house? Can they help you invest into a project or something that you've got going on? Or maybe your partner's come into money. Maybe your partner is financially comfortable. Maybe your partner is in a position where they are elevating financially and it's kind of rubbing off onto you too. But people, this is the house of money. If you're looking at what money you have available to you, also look at what debts you have, what loans you might be able to take out. It's a great time to just reassess and look into what money you have available to you. And if you're trying or planning to invest, this is a good time to get the ball rolling. Libra suns and Libra risings, we got to talk, because we are talking about your relationships right now, which is what you guys want to hear about, right? 7th house is the house of relationships, bonds, titles, marriages, and legal binding contracts. For you guys to have the new moon placed in the 7th house, we're looking at new beginnings or a new relationship forming. It won't just be romantic relations, but it can also be someone else that is of importance to you. Maybe you link up with an old friend, or you link up with someone who can become a business partner, someone who can kind of help you to reach certain goals, or just someone who you can work on a project with. But we're seeing that there is a lot of energy put into this person. This person is bringing a lot of ideas and energy towards you. We can also see, right, if we are going to talk about love and relations, because this is your favorite subject ever, in terms of a relationship forming, you might feel like you're getting closer with someone. You're feeling a lot more, I want to say, can I say, in love with someone? Or again, we're asserting ourselves to make some concrete plans towards the future with someone. But there can also be a need to move. Like, I've seen this happen before, moving to a different country. The new moon in the 7th house can also bring moving to a new country, and it's usually because of love. It's usually because maybe your partner lives over there and you want to go over there to be with them, but it's a new beginning with a partner. And I want to also point out, those of you who are moving to different countries with your partner, this is Aries energy, so you want to kind of be aware of how aggressive or angry or assertive they can be in certain situations. And you might see it, I don't want to say you'll see a new side to them, but it's like, now that you're in their environment, you might be more prone to learning a little bit more about them. They might be very angry and very irritated, and this is likely to show you be very passive and try to provide a lot of peace for them. Even though you moving over there is you surrendered your whole life to be with them, you will probably have to be a lot of their support as well. Let's not forget about legal matters. You know, obviously when you move to a different country, you know, you've got to kind of sign contracts and stuff and do like the 90-day fiance visa application stuff, like even visas, things like that. Even if you're not in a relationship, you're single, think about signing contracts, think about legal matters, attending court or fighting for something. This is the Aries energy. You've got to fight and defend yourself. Scorpio suns and Scorpio risings, you guys will have the new moon positioned in your 6th house. The 6th house is the house of your daily routines, your health and well-being, your employment, also being of service. With the new moon being in here and also in Aries, it's about time you assert yourself and get out of this lazy rut that you may have been in. It's about time to look at your daily routines. What are you doing every day? What is making you underproductive, or what can you do to make yourself productive? It can give you an idea to help you to manage your day better. Maybe you've changed your daily routines. Maybe you come home from work and you eat every day at the same time, you go to bed even earlier, you wake up for work and you're more refreshed and energized to apply yourself to your everyday. One thing that I've had in here, I remember having a new moon in here a particular year. I remember that year I decided to go vegan, and I went vegan for about 10 weeks, and my whole routine changed during that period because I was constantly at the store, at the health shop, buying healthy things, organic stuff. You know, I was not eating no meat, you know, no fish, no nothing, no dairy. It was literally just pure being a vegan, and it worked really well. But yeah, my point is, when you have a new moon in this house, it's like a new diet or a new health regime, or even something can come up that may make you assertive to fix this problem. If you have a health issue, this is the time to get involved in fixing it. In reference to at work, because this is also the house of like your co-workers as well, there can be relationships that you can have with people at work. If that is romantic, like a work husband, work wife, whatever, that can manifest at work. Secret relationships, affairs can also manifest through here as well. Yes, I said what I said. But you know what I think you guys should do? I think you should remain focused, or get focused, and eradicate anything that is unhealthy. The new moon being here would be great if you detox. If you are having an affair, if you have had some fun with people at work, detox from them. Don't speak to them as often, and include that within your diet, you know, within your detox. Drinking more water, having less unhealthy carbs. I don't know, like have a detox during this time. Embracing detoxing and see how that influences your daily moods, your everyday. Sag suns and Sag risings, you guys will have the new moon in Aries in your 5th house. The 5th house is the house of self-expression, creativity, talent, performance, casual sex, flings, dating, romance, but essentially it's the house of fun and adventure. The new moon in this house, who's trying to get pregnant, who wants a baby? The new moon in this house can kind of put you in positions where babies can come. You know, you might get pregnant, and that's if you're trying to be like that. If you're trying for a baby, maybe this is a good time to try. If you're not trying but you end up being reckless, just be mindful, take your plan B, and look after yourself, protect yourself if you're trying to avoid pregnancy. Now, if you are not even doing anything and just out here being yourself, this is a great time to launch a project, people. This is a great time to meet new people, to go out there dating. But there have been some success stories, or even just going out to a bar, going out for brunch with your friends. You might meet someone there. Like, just allowing yourself to be sociable, having fun. And you know what you Sagittarius can be like. You can go over and beyond, and you guys are likely to completely forget about boundaries, limitations. You might have a bit too much fun. You want to be careful of gambling. Gambling can be spending too much money. Gambling can be having too much sex chance. Gambling can be doing too much of something that has a high chance of it failing, and that can be anything. Do not do things in excess because it's just fun. There are people who have bungee jumped drunk, who have gone skiing on drugs, race car driving on the flipping roads where people are walking, and things happen. Bad things happen. So like I'm saying to you guys, you want to make sure that you are aware you've not gone into excess of adventure and having a good time. Capricorn suns and Capricorn risings, we are talking a little bit about you guys now. You guys will have the new moon in your 4th house. The 4th house will be the house of the home, foundation, roots, security, family, mother, and essentially property. You guys have been waiting for this all year, and by this time Pluto will have gone into Aquarius, into your 5th house now. So that energy of feeling heavy and powerless and under some sort of control will be over. However, it does go retrograde back into Capricorn, so there may be some issues from the past that do come back up in terms of your home life, your family, the psychology of your family, and also your emotions that can be brought back up throughout the rest of this year as well. New moons, and also this being in Aries, can bring assertiveness, a new beginning. Okay, a new beginning, but you needing to assert this. There will be more conversations around property, you possibly purchasing home, you possibly talking about moving. New moons, again, a new beginning. Maybe I should move somewhere that I'm going to feel more comfortable, where I can be closer to work, closer to family, whatever it could be. We're seeing that there's likely to be more of a focus surrounding you needing to move. We can also see you needing to change the home. If it's not you moving, maybe you need a spring clean, honey. You know, cleaning out the house, underneath that bed. How dirty is that bed? What about underneath the sofa? Really giving your house a thorough clean. Moving your house around, moving your TV from over there to over there. You know, getting a new wardrobe, you know, buying a new bed. It's kind of about you feeling a lot more comfortable in your environment. So yeah, this is going to be a really good time to focus a little bit more on your inner world and what you can do to feel a little bit more secure there. But we're likely to see lots of renovations, a house move even. You will find a lot to do at home, and you guys being the Capricorn suns, Capricorn risings that you are going to be taking on board a very big project. But knowing you guys are gonna do very well, you know, the project will go very well and you will absolutely love the outcome once it's done. But please take your time and know that there are going to be days off. You need to have days off and know when to rest. Those of you who have Aquarius suns or Aquarius risings, you guys are going to have your new moon in Aries in your 3rd house. The 3rd house is the house of communication, processing information, generating ideas, hobbies, interests. The new moon being here will make you a bit more assertive towards your curiosity. Maybe you might want to feed into, you know, I've always been curious about this particular book. You might learn something new, and you might decide to take on board a short course. You might make a short course yourself. You might even decide to launch something that you have written. Have you always wanted to write a blog? If you have, this is the time to launch your blog. Learn about how to host or what website host to use. Again, this is all around learning and also self-development. It can also highlight attention to detail, interest in things, and the new moon can very much put you in a position where this is Aries energy, so you might be so excited about this new idea, this new project, this new something that you have going on. But don't forget, you need to be disciplined with it. The discipline needs to come and needs to put you in a position to achieve. Think about the sun and the moon. They don't struggle in this house, but there can be a slight challenge here. This is all about what's happening up here, and the moon is trying to figure out what's happening down here with how it feels. So you've got to bear in mind, it's about you being very logical but also embracing that feeling as well. So with it being in the 3rd house, if you know, do some self-work, pick up a book, a self-help book, or write a book yourself. Get into writing. Writing is something that you may absolutely love to do, but it helps you to kind of relieve your emotions. You might start journaling. It's a positive outlet for your Aries energy, because the things with Aries here, it can be very impulsive, and you might say something that really offends people, and you've got to be self-aware of the word choices that you have around other people, because it's very easy for you to upset people. So if you are writing, or you are using a diary to write about how you really feel, this can be a really positive outlet for your new moon. Think about new moon, right, as new car. Maybe you might have to buy a new car. Maybe you got car problems. But there's something about commuting and your vehicle, or being part of being in someone else's vehicle, and there's a lot of like going from A to B. But there may be a reason, a new destination that you have to go to quite a lot, but you've got to drive to get there. Pisces suns and Pisces risings, you guys are going through your new moon in the 2nd house. Money. You guys have the new moon in your 2nd house. The 2nd house is the house of your self-esteem, value, worth, your possessions, your items. It's your earned finances, people, and this is gonna be gold. Okay, Pisces rises, Pisces sun, this is a really good time financially for you guys. Maybe you've had like a lump sum payment, maybe you've been awarded compensation, maybe you have had a refund. Okay, like there could be something in terms of you kind of getting some sort of money, and also just reassessing your finances as a whole would be, I'd like you guys to get into setting yourself some goals financially to accumulate money. So let's say maybe you've been awarded some money. Instead of spending it or trying not to spend it, what can you do to make sure that that money grows and grows and grows? Can you put it in a high interest account? Can you put it in an ISA? You know, what exactly can you do to ensure that that money is going to expand for you? You might also end up in a position where you may have other people invest in something that you have going on. For example, you might be someone who, you might have a business and other people are buying from you, you know, or you might have a product that does very well on your website and other people just buying. So if you're seeing that this product is selling really well, you might have to spend more money to get more of the stock in. You might have to find out why it's selling so well and give you more ideas onto how to make your other stock also sell just as well. But there's something about money increasing. And even if you're not working, you might be in, like in the UK, we've got things like benefits. Benefits is when the government kind of pay for your staff. You might be on disability allowance if you've got a disability and the government are paying, you know, for you. This might be a time where your disability allowance has now been approved, or maybe your payments that you've been owed, your housing benefit, or I don't know, I think you guys in America call it Section 28 housing, or you guys call it food stamps. I don't know what it's called in America, but maybe it's been approved, and maybe it puts you in a position where you feel a lot more comfortable because you have some money coming in. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be so rich, but you'll feel a lot more comfortable in terms of money. So you want to reassess your finances and see what things you can afford and how to make yourself feel comfortable, but your focus will be money. So people, that is my video, which is a very long video on the new moons, the new Aries moons, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. All right, people, take care. Bye bye.